I'm Matthew Husky Lion Preston, and I'm co-captain of Team PXC. Since about 2012, early 2012, yeah. So initially, I was a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I was kind of miffed that Yu-Gi-Oh didn't really have any full arts. And then I was browsing online, and someone recommended Vanguard. It had just come out from Japan. The art was really cool. It was like full art on everything for the most part when it first came out, and it just really seemed like a really cool aesthetic because it had a little bit of everything from everyone when it came out. So it just kind of gravitated toward it, played it a little bit. I like the mechanics, especially how they did everything with triggers and how the field was very limited. So I was very familiar with how that aspect with the game came very naturally. I'd have to say favorite definitely it's always been Great Nature. Great Nature has always been hilarious because they've always had some kind of mechanic that seemed good, but not completely overpowered. Where you look at other clans, like for instance Royal Paladin, Shadow Paladin, all of them, Great Nature always had a balance to where they have something good, but there was always something like that required a little bit more of a payoff in order for you to get it. For Nation Stoicheia, obviously, I liked the aesthetic of Great Nature, so when I came into the game, I saw Magnolia, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to play Magnolia. So that Stoicheia I've just been collecting all the Stoicheia stuff, seeing what felt good to me. So yeah, right now that's what I'm playing. B Premium, favorite? Right now, I think my best played deck is Luard, but my favorite still has to be Leopold Reverse. Like, it's slightly beating out Big Belly, just because I've always liked Big Belly as a card. But definitely Leopold Reverse because of how explosive it is, especially if you find all your pieces. In Premium, definitely I would have to say Big Belly as my favorite. It's not the best deck, but it's still my favorite because, especially when they released all of the new superior striding stuff, allowing me to get more XLs, allowing me to go even faster with Premium, the deck just felt overall better. So I still like Big Belly, and it can cheese out wins because Rhino is really good in that deck. And then when it comes to Standard, my favorite deck is right now, still Magnolia Grade 4. I'm still working with it, still doing well. My best played deck is Leonorn, but it just seems kind of boring after a while. So Magnolia always seems to... I can always change Magnolia up in a couple of ways, and it always feels refreshing, but has the same kind of strategy. So it makes my opponents, really think about what my plays are going to be next. Favorite one? Ooh, that's tough. It's like, I remember... I think I would have to say my favorite one definitely was going to Worlds. Like, I had won in 2017, and that was the one year where they had 2 individual regionals instead of a Spring Fest. And this was the year that they only gave invites to first places at both events. So I was able to win, and they had no time rules for finals. So that last game went on like an hour and a half. It was insane. So we were tired. So the realism of it didn't really hit me immediately. Then, like almost 6, 7, 8 months later, is when we finally got the trip to go to Japan. I ended up going. It was a huge culture shock. We arrived at like 8, 9 o'clock at night, and I was super excited. I went to my room, I checked it out, but as soon as I got there, the favorite thing was just checking out Akihabara for the first time. Going there, like seeing everything in that section, taking the train throughout Tokyo, and then finally attending the actual Vanguard finals, which was great, but it was also very stressful. Overall, still my funnest memory so far was definitely going to Worlds. Seeing everybody, meeting different fight and everything. It was really fun. My very, very first deck, I'm sure most people would probably say Royal Paladin because that was the starter decks that came out. That was my first pickup deck because we saw that Walmart had them. Me and a couple friends from my local area, we picked up the starter deck and we were like, okay, let's just go to Whataburger at like 11 o'clock start playing until like 2 until we were tired. Then literally the next day we're like, oh, we did this wrong. We have to go ahead and try playing again, do it right. But yeah, Royal Paladin was the first one. We kind of just played with those. Eventually, because of how English, like the English release back in the day was all wonky, we ended up getting Spectral Duke and set 6 and 7 before anything else. So my real actual competitive deck play was Spectral Duke, just because it was just that good. I just happened to pick up all of the stuff for it, and I was able to, and that's what I took to my first regional, and I did well, but unfortunately I bubbled out of top 8, so I would have been nice, but can't get them all in the first try. Favorite character? Man, I have to say Ren. Ren is still my favorite character, just because in season 1 he's evil, but that's brushed to the side. But when you take his character and his personality after all of that, I just like him all around, just because he's goofy when, like, most of the time, but he's serious when he has to be, and it's just that perfect balance. I just like his attitude most of the time. For Houston regionals, honestly, like, I don't know, just because set 4 is going to have so many new decks, I just need to test it out. I think more than likely I'll probably be taking Leonorn, maybe Magnolia if the new support is like the new, like, there's I think a double rare or something that's really good. But right now it's kind of like just take Leonorn, see how well I do, and just hope that I do as well as last time. Just because this last one I bubbled out on day 1, but I made top 8 in day 2. Which is good because I had a huge hiatus because of COVID and other personal stuff that was going on. So, like, it's good to know that I'm still doing well competitively, but it's still kind of up in the air on what my plans are. It's probably the same as everyone else's, I guess. Just practice and then see how it goes.
Are you going to go to other ones or just one of these?
I know some of my other team members have planned to. I'd have to double check with them. Like, maybe one other one sometime, because this time it's spanning 6 months, so there's more time to prepare in case we wanted to go to another one. Right now it's just Houston. It's like, I'd probably say I'd probably go to maybe one more, but I mean, that's also dependent on what the time frame, like what time of the year it is. And also depends on whether or not I feel comfortable with the deck I'm playing. That's usually the big one. That's usually why I don't participate in other events, is usually like, if I got a bad vibe that I'm not going to do well, I just won't go. I won't play. Which a lot of other people will do. Well, most other people will not do, and it'll become, they'll feel depressed and be like, I don't know why I'm not doing so well and stuff. So I'll get that vibe, I just won't play, and then every time I'll play, and if I do well, then I'll be like, okay, so I want to feel like I'm still doing well within my own strategy and my own confines without having to, play test too much and then realize that I'm not doing well. So right now it's just stay where I'm at, practice, and then see where it goes, and then maybe I'll participate in another other than Houston. Oh man, so right now, off the top of my head, it was bubbling out at 2012 was okay. I think my first actual win, my first actual tournament win was like an ARG back in like 2013, 2014, I want to say. Or was it 2015? It's hard to remember. It's been so long. But that was the first time that I actually competed competitively in something other than just a regular regional. Then my first team win was when Team Procyon, before we were actually named Team Procyon, we were playing around with names. We went in as Team, I think it was Team FFF, it was Team FFF. And we went and we topped in 2016 for our team tournament. And then that's when they had nationals, and I didn't think they did nationals afterwards. But we went to California, we hung out, that was cool. Then 2017 was when I got my first win, invite to Worlds. 2018, I had to take a hiatus because of medical reasons. 2019, I came back at that regional, and we topped fourth in teams. And then in the BCS, I made third in premium with Hamskate, which surprisingly no one was expecting to play against that. But that was, I think that's one of my more fondest accomplishments, is playing Hamskate and premium and actually doing well, especially in a stupid ESL format. Yep. Then 2020 beyond, we had COVID issues. And then, yeah, just this last year when I came back, I bubbled out in day one, but still did well. And then day two, I made top 8 in V Premium. So those are just a couple of my accomplishments. It's like, I want to say, definitely not as much as other people, but for where I am, I think it's a decent amount. And I want to say I'm a decent enough player. And I want to say I'm well established, especially in the current environment. Well, right now we're seeing a lot more community-driven tournaments and stuff like that. I would love to see more theme-structured tournaments where we're going off of either we want to play with like older rules, different time periods. Maybe we have our own personal ban list restrictions. That'd be nice, because some of the times we're always seeing the same decks always played over and over again. So it'd be nice for us to like run a poll, do community driven, to where we can ban or limit things, so that way people have to play other decks, so that way other decks can shine. Like, for instance, like I don't see anybody here playing Eugene. I don't see anybody here playing Pharaoh Magnus. So I would love to see more people be able to play those decks without having to get punched out by just straight meta. And I would love to see more diversity in that effect. Yeah, check us out at we have our Twitter. You can check us out at Team Procyon. You can also check out the parent company, Procyon Gaming, and Dual Spec on Twitter. You can also check out, of course, you can check out the Facebook group, Cardfight ATX. And let me see, is there anything else? No, I think that's it. That's all I can think of. No, I'm just happy to be here and love the game. I'm going to hope to keep playing for another couple of years, and hopefully Bushroad still keeps their stuff together and tries to at least focus more on hitting the ban list, because I think that's my one gripe right now from this game. But otherwise, I love it.